Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that affects every single one of us. Money. Specifically, why does it feel like some people are sprinting ahead financially while others are stuck on a treadmill? You've probably heard the standard advice a million times. Work hard, save money, and get a good education. And while that's not bad advice, it's missing a huge piece of the puzzle. To really understand how to grow your income, we need to look at the history of how people have earned a living. For most of human history, your income was tied directly to your physical labor. Think about it. Farmers, blacksmiths, builders. The more hours you put in, the more you produced, and the more you earned. Your output was limited by your own energy and the hours in a day. This was the era of linear income. You trade 1 unit of time for 1 unit of pay. This system made sense for thousands of years. But then, something big happened. The Industrial Revolution. Suddenly, machines could do the work of hundreds of people. This introduced a new concept. Leverage. A factory owner wasn't just earning from their own labor. They were earning from the leveraged output of their machines and their workers. This was the birth of a new kind of income. One that wasn't tied directly to the owner's personal time. The person who owned the system, the factory, could earn exponentially more than the people working within it. This shift created 2 distinct paths to wealth. The first path is the one most of us are on. Selling our time for money. We become employees. We work hard. We might get a raise, maybe a promotion, but our income growth is still fundamentally linear. It's capped by our salary, our industry, and the number of hours we can reasonably work. We're working in the system. The second path is about building or owning a system that generates income. This could be starting a business, investing in stocks, creating intellectual property like a book or a course, or owning real estate. On this path, your income isn't limited by your personal time. The system works for you, even when you're sleeping. This is where we see exponential income growth. It's the difference between being a chef in a restaurant and owning the restaurant chain. So, when we talk about income inequality today, this is the core of it. It's not just about some people working harder than others. It's about a fundamental difference in the type of income being earned. One group is earning linear income by selling their time, while another is earning leveraged, exponential income by owning systems. Now, why is the traditional advice of work hard and get a good education incomplete? Because it primarily prepares you for the first paths to be a valuable employee within someone else's system. It teaches you to be a better cog in the machine, but it rarely teaches you how to build the machine itself. Getting a degree can absolutely increase your linear income, and that's great, but it usually doesn't shift you onto the path of exponential growth. So what's the takeaway here? It's not about quitting your job tomorrow. It's about changing your mindset. Start thinking about how you can begin to build or own a small system of your own. This doesn't have to be a massive startup. It could be as simple as investing a small amount each month into an index fund, which is like owning tiny pieces of many companies. It could be starting a small side hustle online, creating a digital product, or even just learning about how these systems work. The goal is to gradually shift your reliance from 100% linear income to a mix that includes some leveraged, system-based income. Even a small stream of this kind of income can have a massive impact over time thanks to the power of compound. We need to update the old advice. Yes, work hard. Yes, keep learning. But also, start building. Start owning. Start creating systems that can work for you. That's the real key to unlocking financial growth in today's world. Thanks so much for watching. If this video got you thinking, hit that like button and subscribe for more content that challenges the way we think about money and success. See you in the next one. Have you ever felt like your income has hit a wall? You've done everything you were told to do. You got the degree. You worked hard. You climbed the corporate ladder. Maybe you even got a master's. Yet, Your income just isn't growing the way you expected. It feels like you're stuck, running on a treadmill, and the financial freedom you dreamed of seems further away than ever. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. This is a common frustration, and today, we're going to talk about why this happens and what you can actually do about it. Let's break down the traditional path to income growth. We're taught a simple formula. Education plus experience equals promotions, which equals more money. For a while, this works. You get your first job, you get a raise, maybe a promotion. Your salary goes from 40,000 to 50, then to 65. You feel like you're making progress, but then something strange happens. You hit a ceiling. Maybe it's at 80,000, maybe 100,000, maybe a bit more. The raises become smaller, the promotions rarer. You're working harder than ever, putting in longer hours, taking on more responsibility, but your income just stalls. This is what I call the income breaking point. It's the moment you realize that the old formula has stopped working. Why? Because you're trading time for money in a system with a built-in cap. There are only so many hours in a day. Your employer has a budget, and there's a limit to what they're willing to pay for your specific role. No matter how good you are at it, you've essentially maxed out the value of your single unit of time within that corporate structure. So, what's the secret to breaking through this ceiling? It's not about working harder or getting another certificate. It's about completely changing the game. The real key to exponential income growth isn't about selling your time more expensively. It's about scaling your value. Think about it. The world's wealthiest people don't have more hours in the day than you do. What they have is leverage. They've found a way to create value for thousands or even millions of people simultaneously. A software developer writes a piece of code once, and it can be sold to millions of users. An author writes a book, and it can be read by people all over the world for years to come. A YouTuber creates one video that gets millions of views. They are no longer trading 1 hour of their time for 1 hour of pay. They are detaching their income from their time. So, how can you start doing this? The first step is a mindset shift. Stop thinking like an employee and start thinking like a creator or an entrepreneur. What skills or knowledge do you have that could be valuable to a larger audience? It doesn't have to be some groundbreaking invention. Maybe you re an amazing accountant who could create an online course teaching small business owners how to manage their finances. Maybe you're a skilled gardener who could start a channel sharing tips with beginners. Perhaps you're a great writer who could offer freelance services to multiple clients at once. The idea is to package your value in a way that can be replicated and distributed without your direct, continuous involvement. This could be a digital product, a piece of content, a service-based business with a team, or an investment that generates passive income. The initial effort might be significant. Yes, building a business or creating a product takes time, but once it's created, it has the potential to generate income for you 24/7, effectively breaking that time for money link. You're building an asset that works for you, instead of just being a cog in a machine that works for someone else. So if you're feeling stuck at your income breaking point, don't just push harder on the same old path. It's time to look for a new one. Start exploring how you can scale your unique value. It's not about abandoning your job tomorrow, but about starting to build a new system on the side, one that isn't limited by the hours in your day. This is the real path to financial growth in today's world. Thanks for watching, and if you got some value from this, be sure to subscribe for more content that challenges the traditional way of thinking. See you in the next one. Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right, working hard, saving money, maybe even climbing the career ladder, but your financial situation just isn't improving as fast as you'd like? You're not alone, and it's not entirely your fault. The advice we've been given for decades, like go to college, get a good job, is starting to show its age. To really understand why, we need to take a quick trip back in time. For a long stretch in the mid-20th century, the system worked for a lot of people. Economic growth was strong, and the gains were shared pretty widely. A factory worker could often support a family, buy a home, and save for retirement on a single income. This was the era of the American dream, where hard work seemed to directly translate into a better life. Productivity went up, and wages went up right alongside it. It felt like a fair deal. But then, starting around the 1970s and 80s, something started to shift. The link between productivity and wages began to break. Companies were making more money than ever, but that wealth wasn't trickling down to the average worker in the same way. So, what happened? Several things. Globalization sent jobs overseas, where labor was cheaper. Technology and automation began replacing certain types of jobs, and policies started to favor corporations and investors more than workers. This created what economists call a bifurcated economy. On one side, you have high-skill, high-demand jobs in tech, finance, and specialized fields where incomes have soared. These are the people who are capturing a huge slice of the economic pie. On the other side, you have a vast number of service, retail, and manual labor jobs where wages have stagnated or even declined when you adjust for inflation. The middle ground, those stable, middle-class jobs that form the backbone of the economy, began to shrink. This is the root of the income inequality we see today. It's not just about some people being lazy and others working hard. It's about a fundamental change in the structure of our economy. The old playbook of just getting a safe job doesn't guarantee security anymore, because those jobs are less secure and pay relatively less than they used to. So, what does this mean for you? It means we have to update our strategy. Simply relying on a single paycheck from a traditional job is risky. The new path to financial security involves creating multiple streams of income. This doesn't mean you have to quit your job and become a day trader. It could be as simple as starting a small side hustle based on a hobby, doing some freelance work online, investing in dividend-paying stocks, or even renting out a spare room. The goal is to build a personal financial system that doesn't depend on one single source. Think of it like a table. A table with one leg is incredibly wobbly. A table with 4 or 5 legs is stable and secure, even if one leg gets a little shaky. By understanding the history of how we got here, we can see that the game has changed. It's time our strategies changed with it. Building multiple income streams isn't just a trendy idea. It's the modern answer to an economic problem that's been decades in the making. Thanks so much for watching. If this gave you a new perspective, hit that like button and subscribe for more content on how to navigate the new economy. See you next time.